Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. Look, today we're tackling a topic that is absolutely crucial. Whether you're a student leader, a freelancer, on the job hunt, or really just an emerging professional, we are going to totally demystify the idea of professional branding. We're stripping away all those abstract buzzwords and building a highly accessible, totally practical toolkit that you can literally start using today to make your work stand out. To get us there, we've got a super clear roadmap. We're covering 5 exact steps today. First, finding your brand voice. Second, smartphone photography basics. Third, designing clear visuals. Fourth, adapting across platforms. And finally, step 5, the complete content plan. But before we dive into that toolkit, we really need to anchor this whole explainer by defining what a brand actually is. You know, we hear the word brand and we instantly picture massive multinational corporations, right? But honestly, a brand is just the impression people get when they encounter you, whether that's online or in the real world. It's what someone thinks when they read your email, see your flyer, or just scroll past your LinkedIn post. It's the whole shebang. It's the sum total of how you communicate. And that means you have a choice. You can either carefully control that impression, or you can just let it happen by accident. Okay, so let's jump right into step 1, finding your brand voice. This is all about uncovering the personality behind your words. Notice how brand voice is defined here. It's literally the personality behind your words. It influences everything you write. I'm talking Instagram captions, formal emails, even a quick WhatsApp broadcast. You can share the exact same piece of information, but if you do it in a way that's super friendly or strictly professional or bold and high energy, well, each of those voices creates a completely different vibe for the reader. Choosing the right one, that's step 1 to building a brand people actually remember. Let's look at a quick makeover to see this in action. Say you're inviting your classmates to a seminar. The week copy says, "Seminar tomorrow, come if you can." I mean, it's got the facts, sure, but it's totally lacking any drive. Now, check out the better copy. Join us tomorrow for a practical seminar on how students can build employable digital skills before graduation. Attendance is free and certificates will be provided. See the difference? That second version isn't just clearer, it's incredibly persuasive. It gives people a real reason to care, and it perfectly aligns with a purposeful brand voice. So the next time you sit down to write, just keep these core rules in your back pocket. Match your tone to your specific audience, and please use simple, clear language. There's no need to overcomplicate things just to sound smart. Above all, be consistent so people trust you and write like you're speaking to an actual human being. Remember, you aren't writing a dry textbook, you are having a conversation with your reader. Moving on to step 2, smartphone photography basics. The golden rule here, just use your smartphone. We are going to prove you absolutely don't need a fancy, expensive camera to create captivating stuff. Let's talk about composition, which is just how you arrange things inside your photo's frame. Picture this, you just nailed a presentation and you want to post a celebratory pic. A classic beginner mistake is poor composition. You know, standing awkwardly in the middle of the room, background totally cluttered with empty chairs, half-open backpacks, maybe some random people walking by. It is super distracting. The better composition is highly intentional. Go stand your plain wall, probably hold up your presentation, and just leave a little bit of breathing room around yourself in the frame. Boom! You, the subject, are instantly the star of the show. Now, composition is great, but honestly, it's nothing without our next core skill, lighting. I literally cannot stress this enough. Lighting is almost always way more important than the actual camera you're using. Bad lighting is taking a selfie with a bright window right behind you. Your camera gets totally confused and your face just becomes this dark, anonymous shadow. Good lighting, it's literally just a simple pivot. Just turn around. Face the window so all that beautiful natural light falls right on your face. It completely transforms a shot from a messy, amateur snap to a crisp, professional image. In fact, I've got a quick challenge for you to test this out yourself today. Take a photo under one of those harsh fluorescent bulbs at night, and then take the exact same photo near a window during the day. Put them side by side. I guarantee it, the daylight photo will look sharper, brighter, and incredibly professional, even if you're using an older phone. So what's the golden rule? Always, always make sure your light source is shining towards your subject, never from behind it. All right, let's roll right into step 3, designing clear visuals. You need to stand out in seconds. Because when people see a flyer or a post, they make snap judgments. They are deciding in literal seconds if you're worth their time. The absolute secret to surviving those split-second decisions is a little thing called visual hierarchy. That's really just deciding what your viewer needs to notice first, second, and third. Think about it. If you're making a flyer for a campus tech workshop and all the text is exactly the same size, your viewer is just going to be confused. Instead, visually stack your info. Step 1, Text Skills Bootcamp hooks them with the biggest text. Steps 2 and 3, the date and location are slightly smaller. And step 4, your call to action to register, is the smallest. It's like you're visually guiding them by the hand right through the information.
And hey, when you're laying out that text in an app like Canva, you've got to manage your colors. If you want to avoid that cluttered amateur vibe, just stick to the rule of 3. Pick one main color, maybe a strong blue, grab one supporting color, like a pop of orange for your accents, and finally use a white or super light background for ultimate readability. Clean, readable, consistent, that is exactly what we're aiming for here.
Which brings us to the fourth tool in our kit, adapting across platforms while keeping one core message. We really need to call out a massive beginner mistake here. That mistake is simply copying and pasting the exact same text everywhere you post. Look at how a core message can brilliantly morph depending on where it lives. Say you're promoting an AI webinar. The WhatsApp version is super conversational and direct. Free AI webinar, send me a message to register. It feels like a text from a friend, right? But if you copy-paste that over to LinkedIn, it feels totally out of place. The LinkedIn version transforms to be professional and value-focused. I'm hosting a practical session on how AI tools can improve workflows. The core info hasn't changed one bit, but the wording is adapted perfectly for what that specific audience expects. And that brings us to our fifth and final section, the complete content plan. This is where we put it all together, combining writing, design, and scheduling into one unified task. Take a look at what an individual post looks like when you treat it as a complete asset. If you're promoting a student event, you don't just type out a caption and hope for the best. You lock down the copy. Learn how students, you pair it with a very specific visual, like a great photo of young entrepreneurs. You pick the platform, let's say Instagram. You set a firm date for Monday, August 10th, and crucially, you define the goal, getting more registrations. Suddenly, this isn't just a vague idea floating around, it is a tangible, executable asset. And once you have those assets, you can easily string them together into a neat weekly plan. Monday, event announcement. Wednesday, a speaker spotlight to build some hype. Friday, that's your final reminder and registration deadline. When you structure your communication like this, you've got a complete package. You can confidently hand that off to a team member, a client, or a boss, knowing it makes complete sense from start to finish. Imagine you're a department media lead. Notice the massive contrast in stress levels here. The first approach is pure chaos. I wrote the caption, someone else designed the flyer, we forgot when to post it. Yikes. That is incredibly stressful and ineffective. Now, compare that to the professional process. You create one single deliverable containing the approved caption, the final design, the exact date, the platform, and the call to action. It's organized, it's highly professional, and honestly, it practically executes itself. Okay, let's do a quick recap of this highly practical toolkit you've just picked up in this explainer. You now know how to write consistent captions using a purposeful brand voice. You know how to snap intentional, beautifully lit smartphone photos. You can design clean, readable graphics using visual hierarchy. You know exactly how to tweak your messages for different platforms. And best of all, you know how to organize all of it into one unified plan. These are heavy-hitting skills you can apply to internships, school projects, or your own personal branding, literally starting right now. I want to leave you with this really powerful thought from our source material. That is the difference between creating random content and managing a brand communication process professionally. It is time to stop just generating random noise online. Take these tools, be intentional with your voice and your visuals, and start actually managing your professional brand today. So ask yourself, what does your digital footprint currently say about you? And are you ready to rewrite that narrative? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.